Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey and Daytona, Florida. So, today we review the Cicada Neo mid-bass driver, 10-inch. So, the Cicada 10-inch mid-bass driver, the OG, the one we've been using for a while, the Farad Magnet Cmb 10, has become an industry standard, handles a ton of power, likes factory-sized saddlebags, great warranty, great performance, great sounding woofer, weatherproof. So the only complaint that we had about the woofer is that it was really heavy. The woofer is 25, 30 pounds each, so it adds a considerable amount of weight to the saddlebags. So Cicada did something I was a little nervous about because we have not had good luck with Neo subwoofers or mid-bass drivers inside small saddlebags. It's an inherent trait of Neo magnets. Anybody that runs speakers and Neo magnets know that the magnet's a lot smaller. They produce a lot more force than a magnet triple the size, but there's a trade-off. They create a lot of heat. So Neo subwoofers and mid-bass drivers that we've run in the satellite before, we've noticed that when you hit them hard with a lot of power, same amount of power that you hit a ferrite speaker with, the magnet creates so much heat that the glue tends to soften and the voice coil tends to unravel. So it's not a burnt voice coil. It's not a failure of the speaker. It's actually a failure of the glue because the Neo magnet creates so much heat that it's uncomfortable to touch the speaker after it's been playing for a while. Rockford ran into this problem when running 6 spines in the lids. They were beating up on the 6 spines so much, the riders beating up on the 6 spines so much that the magnet would actually burn stuff that was in the saddlebags, and they came up with that basket that they supply with the magnet now. It's just, Neo creates heat. If you run a lot of power, especially if you clip the signal, distortion makes it heat up 3-4 times faster. So I was afraid that the same thing would happen with the Cicadas. Cicada rates these. They both have a 3-inch voice coil. The Neo has a 3-inch voice coil and Farad has a 3-inch voice coil. So Cicada realized that running an extreme amount of power through these woofers would cause them to get hot, so they recommended half the power that they recommend on the mid-bass. So the 2500.1 produces about 3000 watts RMS is what they recommend for the CMB 10. 1600.1 produces about 16 to 1800 watts RMS is what they recommend for the CMB 10 Neo. So they made the woofer more efficient, so it still sounds really good even though it's on half the recommended power from the standard. I verified this in my test. I didn't want to switch out the amplifier on my bike, so I just used the 2500.1 and adjusted the voltage. At full power, I tested at full power first, and the woofer got really hot like I expected it to, but I didn't have any failures in it. But I ran the rest of the test on recommended power, so I dropped it down to about 2000 watts, so I was running 1000 watts per woofer, and they performed beautifully through the test. So on longevity tests, I like to leave the bike on a charger and use the bike as the shop radio for the day, and that's what we did with these. So we got about 5-6 hours of playtime, 0 failures, 800-900,000 watts per woofer, just playing regular music. I'm really impressed with what they did with design. If you look at the speakers from the front, they both look identical. They look the same as the CMB 10s, the CMB 10 Neo. They look the same. The difference is when you flip them around, the back is completely different. They fit into all standard 10-inch rings. They fit into the Cicada ring kit, obviously. The bolt pattern's the same as the older, so all the hardware that worked for the CMB 10 works for the CMB 10 Neo. I'm really impressed with the way the speaker sounds. It's only $100 more than the CMB 10, which is amazing to me considering that Neo is so expensive. But as usual, Cicada did a really great job. It's a really great product. We're still going to use the CMB 10 for most of our builds, but this would be something that if a client requested a lighter weight solution, especially these guys that are doing performance baggers now, but they insist on having the bass and having the sound, this is a great solution for you guys. It's a great speaker, sounds good. We put it through its test. Check it out. So one thing that made me realize how much technology has changed in the past 10 years is I went through the airport. I packed a suitcase and I brought 4 subwoofers an amplifier, and a toolkit. My luggage was not overweight. That's because all 4 subwoofers were Neo 10-inch mid-bass for motorcycles. So that shows you how much technology has changed. These woofers have gotten so light and powerful. Went through the airport, checked the bag, did not get charged an overweight charge. 4 woofers, amplifier, and a toolkit.
Headshot. Sit down. Stand up. Pass out. Wake up. Fade it. Fade it. I ride, you ride, bang. One chopper, 100 shots, bang. Hop out, do you, bang. 2 chopper, 200 shots, bang. I ride, you ride, bang. One chopper, 100.
Davidson Audio did an excellent video reviewing these woofers, comparing them to the regular CMB10s. So the CMB10 versus CMB10 Neo. I'm going to post a link in the description to that video.